patrons. Strictly enforced when I hear it, because I'm mean. We've waited a year to hear live music indoors. If you want to talk, that's right. If you want to talk, go outside, talk, have a cigarette, then come back down and listen to the music. Our place is different because of that. A brief commercial. A brief commercial. Next week, actually every week is Nyack Jazz Week since we opened. But next week is in cooperation with the Rockland Jazz Blues Society. Next week is Jazz Week here in Nyack and Piermont. There's little pamphlets. I'm going to just tell you a little bit about the shows here. Next Friday night is the world famous Joe Locke, the vibraphonist. If you know nothing about jazz and you come and see this show, you will be astounded at the way this guy plays the vibraphone. That's the old instrument that Lionel Hampton played with Teddy Wilson. So that's Friday. Saturday night, there's two shows, 7:30 and 9:30. Saturday night is Mike Stern. Mike Stern is a guitarist who played with Miles Davis. His group is here on Saturday, two shows, 7:30 and 9:30. Sunday, August 1st, Sunday, August 1st, thanks Steve, dude, I'm mean. August 1st, the great Fred Hirsch is here playing solo piano, 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. You don't want to miss him. He's a complete genius at the piano, solo piano, followed by the Jazz Jam closing out the Nyack Jazz Week, and that's 9 o'clock. Anyway, all that aside, please help me welcome the excellent musicians on the stage. Please help me welcome on the guitar, Steve Lamantin. To his immediate right, on the bass, the great Frank Tate. A handsome gentleman sitting at the piano, that's the great Connell Fowles. There's not enough I can say about our featured artist tonight. A couple things. She's a wonderful patron of the club. She came down here and did her first show here almost 5 years ago with her pigtails, and we're like, who's this? It turned, and then she sang and sang and sang and sang. And we were like, wow, this lady's amazing. And she still is, but we came to find out much later that she and her late husband, Papa, as she called him, owned one of the greatest jazz clubs of all time, called the Half Note. And she's keeping the tradition of that music alive. She studied with Billie Holiday, Lenny Tristano, knew all those guys. And we're thrilled that she's keeping the jazz tradition alive at our club. Please help me welcome the great Judi Marie Canterino.
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction, David. We're very, very pleased and very happy and very lucky to be here at Maureen's Jazz Cellar. As I've said before, this is my very favorite jazz club. It really is, and that's the truth. Of course, the Half Note's not here anymore. Of course, that was always my very favorite. The most wonderful jazz club in the world, but Papa would be so happy to be here at Maureen's Jazz Cellar. Yeah, he really would. Oh my God. He was a special, special man, special, special guy. Anyone who knew him knows that he was special. Right, Connell? Right, Steve? Right, Frank? And the gentleman that just introduced us is not only the owner of Maureen's Jazz Cellar, and of course, Maureen's Jazz Cellar is named after his sister, Maureen, who was a beautiful singer, no doubt. Beautiful. Oh, yeah. Sometimes he puts her on the intermissions when we have intermissions here, which we won't tonight. And I said, you have to put her on in between me? She was beautiful. But he's also an exceptional pianist. Exceptional. He's a beautiful pianist, composer, and all that jazz singer. I have a CD, and I've been trying to learn that one tune that maybe I can get to do tonight. I don't know, we'll see. called It's My Turn. Anyway, alrighty, I'm so very, very pleased and so very lucky and happy to be with these gentlemen, because I can't do it without them, and Papa taught me we need them. I do. Alright, we're going to start with this tune called Jeepers Creepers. Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get them peepers? My, those peepers, how they hypnotize. Gosh, oh, get up, how they get so lit up. Gosh, oh, get up, how they get that size.
Sounds good.
Golly gee, when you put your heaters on, woe is me, I gotta put my cheaters on. Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get them peepers? My, those peepers, how they hypnotize. Jeepers creepers, where'd you get them peepers? My, those peepers, how they hypnotize. Gosh, all get up, how they get so lit up. Gosh, all get up, how they get that size. Ooh, golly gee, when you put those heaters on, woe's me, I gotta put my cheaters on. Cheapers, creepers, where'd you get them peepers? My, those peepers, how they hypnotize. Where'd you get them eyes? Where did you get them eyes? Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I love that whistle. Like walking with that whistle. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Sorry, but I'm dry. How dry I am. Wow. We had no rehearsal. We never do. And I'm so thankful, though, because, wow. Anyway, this next tune that we're going to do is very special because it's in memory of Jerry Bruno. And the great Jerry Bruno. We had his, oh yeah, you can clap for Jerry Bruno, that's for darn sure. Yeah, and for my last 20 years he played with me, the last 20 years. I met him when he was 80. Bucky Pizzarelli was having a birthday party for him, and it was his 80th birthday, and I was invited. And that's how I met him, and for the next 20 years, I was lucky enough to have him as a bass player for me, and us, yeah. We became very, very good friends. I have beautiful, I'm still old-fashioned, so I have the old phone, you know, in the house, and I have beautiful messages from him on the machine. I do. Oh yeah, beautiful. Oh, I have the greatest ones from Connell. Joodle doodle! Anyway, so this is a very special tune. I used to sing it alone with Jerry. Of course, I won't ever do that again with any other bass player. You know how much I love Frank Tate, but that was special. Anyway, it's called So What's New? And Peggy Lee, she was the one who made this famous.
Help yourself if you want anything.
Tell me, babe, what's new? How's the scene with you? Gee, it's good to see you, babe. Yeah, I missed you so.
Thank you.
How you'll never know. Gee, it's good to see you, babe. You walked in, lights went on, all over my face. You lit up the place, and you've been gone just too long now. Tell me, babe, what's new? You're glad to see me too? Yeah, my world is spinning. Now I know I'm winning. You'll stay home now. Don't ever roam now. And I'll say, babe, it's so good to see you. How to sing with you, Gee, it's good to see you, babe. Yeah, I missed you so. How you'll never know. Gee, it's good to see you, babe. You walked in, lights went on all over my face. You lit up the place, and you've been gone just too long now. Tell me, babe, what's new? Glad to see you too. Yeah, my world is spinning. Now I know I'm winning. You'll stay home now. Don't ever roam now. And I'll say, babe, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much. Boy, I can hear Jerry saying this stuff behind my head, the things in. Oh, I'll never forget that as long as I live. Wow, and someone to live to 100.5 and still be playing at 99 here at Maureen's with us as well.
And driving.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, oh, this is a pretty little song. It's called This Little Town is Paris. Do I do it just with you, or do I do it with everybody? We'll just end it the way we end it. Okay, all right, okay. And so here we go. Sure, okay. Okay. You can tell we don't rehearse, and yes. This little town is Paris. Now that I'm here with you, each little bench is amazingly French, and the trees Parisian too. This little town is Paris. Now that I know you're mine, even the air is a foreign affair, and the coffee tastes like wine. The world I found around me wasn't good when I stood stood there alone. Now that you have found me, you embrace every place I have known. This little town is Paris. Now that you're here with me, gay and aglow, and there's one place I know I will not have to go to see. You bring Paris here to me. The world I found around me wasn't good when I stood there alone. Now that you have found me, you embrace every place I have known. This little town is Paris. Now that you're here with me, gay and aglow, and there's one place I know I will not have to go to see. For you bring Paris here to me. Sorry about that. Thank you. What a beautiful tune. Thank you so much. Alrighty. We did take a couple of these off of here, but okay, let's do this. I haven't done this since a while. It's called, sorry. I'll try, Very ladylike, but you know, that's the way it goes. Okay, this tune is called This Joint is Jumping. All right? Okay. Have a new expression along old Harlem way that tells you when a party is 10 times more than gay. To see that things are jumping leaves not a single doubt. Everything is in full swing when you hear somebody shout, hey, hey, this joint is jumping, it's really jumping. Come in cats, check your hats, I mean this joint is jumping. No time for talking, it's time for walking. Grab a jug and cut the rug, I mean this joint is jumping. Get your pig's feet, beer and gin, plenty in the kitchen. Who is that just walked in? Look at the way you're twitching. Don't mind the hour, cause I'm in power. I got bail if I go to jail, I mean this joint is jumping. Mother cats, check your hats. I mean, this joint is jumping. No time for talking, well, it's time for walking. Grab a jump, come to run. I mean, this joint is jumping. Get your big sweet beer and gin, plenty in the kitchen. Who is that that just walked in? Look at the way you're twitching. Don't mind the hour, 'cause I'm empowered. I got bail if I go to jail. I mean, this joint is jumping. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Oh my God. I'm thankful, so thankful to be an old lady with and able to not sound so old. I'm so lucky. So lucky. Alrighty, and these guys, they're just remarkable. But Pop and I always, we always surrounded ourselves with the best musicians in the world. And we had the best musicians in the world at the half note. And I continue that when I sing, so I'm so very thankful. Okay. Okay.
This cracks me up, I love it.
Talking about age. Imagine if we rehearsed.
Stayed on track mostly.
It's really vodka.
I thought it was gin.
Well, that's just as good. I'll put partially, yeah. Take a cap.
The sound's working, right? So the sound's definitely on, right?
Miss Liza Jackson and her man, they had a falling out. He said, go get someone new if you can. I'm gone without a doubt. Well, things went wrong. She came back, he came back. Next day at 5 o'clock, he put his key in the old key lock, but the key wouldn't fit the lock. So he stuck it in, turned it round and took it out. Just as he was about to stick it in again, he heard Miss Liza shout, you got the right key, the wrong keyhole. I couldn't get along with you to save my soul. So yesterday I went down to the hardware store. I got a fresh lock on my front door. I got a new man, he better than you. He starts his loving where you get through. So listen to me, baby, leave my door, because your key don't fit in my hole lock no more. I said you got the right key, baby, working on the wrong keyhole. Okay. Couldn't get along with you to save my soul. Yesterday I went down to the hardware store, put a fresh lock on my front door. Well, I got a new man, he better than you. He starts his loving where you get through. So listen to me, baby, leave my door, because your key don't fit in my whole lock no more. I say you got the right key, baby, working on the wrong keyhole. Right key, working on the wrong keyhole. Oh yeah. Oh my. Oh, I'm gonna copy this thing now. Well, that, I would never say that to Papa. That's for sure. Always had the right here. Oh my goodness sake. There's so many stories about the half. Now I know I have to say a few things. I wanted to say some things, but whatever. All right. Okay, let's do it.
Just sing. I told her no joke.
Yeah, okay.
She messes up on it. Which makes it even, but they make it even funnier. She's right. That's true.
Ooh, what little moonlight can do to you. Ooh, what little moonlight can do to you. Your love hearts aflutter all day long. You only stop talking cause your poor tongue just cannot utter the words I love you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. What little moonlight can do to you. Wait a while till little moonbeam comes shining right on through. You'll get bold, you can't resist him, and all you'll say when you have kissed him is ooh, 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 ooh. What a little moonlight can do. What a little moonlight can do to you. Ooh, what a little moonlight can do to you. Your love, hearts are fluttering all day long. You only stop talk cause your poor tongue just cannot utter the words I love you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. What a little moonlight can do to you. Wait a while till little moonbeam comes shining right on through. You'll get bored, you can't resist him at all. You'll sing when you've kissed him. It's ooh, what a little moonlight can do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, I guess you can't say we're boring. Oh, we're boring. Wow. Okay. Well, I was very fortunate to grow up in the Half Note, the greatest jazz club ever. You know, David just told me that he got Playboy magazine this month. Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, oh, Brianne, it's all right, right? It's all right with Brianne. Well, and there's an article about the Half Note.
He read the article.
In this Playboy magazine.
From 1973.
Oh my
From 1973. The year 1973.
God. I'm sorry, Steve.
Was the Playboy. 1973.
I don't think so. What? Well, I have to remember. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is a beautiful, beautiful song. It's called Something Cool, and it's a pretty tone. I think Judi Christie did it. She was so beautiful. I didn't learn anything from her, but I did. I mean, listening to her. But down the old Half Note, we had Anita O'Day. I listened to a lot of her and Maxine Sullivan. And, oh God! Well, I love Max. I think I learned more from Max and Jimmy Rushing than anyone at the Half Note. Yeah, Carmen McRae. I mean, God, we had the best people in the world. That's why it took me so long to get out to sing on my own. Who the hell was I to sing? Look what I was listening to. I was very fortunate. Joe Puma, the great guitarist. Yeah. Maxine Sullivan, Carmen McRae, they pushed me out. Yeah, that's how I got my start. Otherwise, I don't think I'd be out here singing because I had such an admiration for these people. And Joe Puma asked me to do a gig with him. When do you ever hear a musician asking a singer to do a job, right? A gig? Never, never. And he asked me, I said, what? He said, I'm doing this gig in Brooklyn Heights, Jude, come on out and do it with me. I did it. I was scared to death, and I said, I love this. And that was it. God bless him. I'm so very, very fortunate. And then to meet these guys. I remember I had a gig. I was supposed to do a gig, Connell. I was supposed to do a gig with Mark Shane, whom I love. I love Mark Shane. And he couldn't make it. I mean, he had to cancel. And he said, Jude, I'll get you somebody. He said, I have this guy, his name is Connell Fouts. I swear to God, did you remember this, Connell? How I met you? Yeah. He says, I'm going to bring him for you and see how you like him. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And he said, was he okay for you? I said, oh my God. Am I lucky? Yeah. So that's, yeah, more than 20 or more? 20? Oh, 20, yeah. Wow. No one swings like he does anyway. Alrighty, so what were we doing? What were we doing? The right keyhole, we did that. That's something cool. should we do it with the band? Whatever you guys want to do. Okay, okay. Okay, okay. I remember down the old half, we used to make meatball sandwiches, veal parmesan and eggplant parmesan, spaghetti. And that was our, I think that was just about our menu, maybe one other thing. Anyway, and my father-in-law was the cook, was the chef. And he would come in at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We wouldn't open till 9:30 at night. Our first set was at 9:30 and ended 3:30 in the morning. Yeah, 9:30 to 3:30. Yeah, that was it at that time. And the guys used to go longer. Well, sometimes Zoot wouldn't show up till 11, but but we always forgave him because Zoot was our favorite in the whole world. Zoot Sims. Anyway, I started telling a story. What did I start saying? Oh yeah, my father-in-law used to be in the kitchen. So he used to come at 4:30 in the afternoon and make the gravy, like a 3.5, 4-hour gravy, the red gravy. I mean, the meatballs used to be seared on the outside and soft on the inside. And he didn't put breadcrumbs, he put bread. Oh, day-old bread, yeah. I'm telling you, the food was just 3 or 4 items, but it was delicious. It was delicious. And he gave his heart and his soul. My father-in-law was one of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet, Frank Canterino. You knew him, right, Frank?
I didn't know.
Oh, you didn't know Frank?
It was Sonny and Mike.
Sonny and Mike, of course, my husband and his brother. Okay, okay. Well, he was always in the kitchen. Maybe that's why.
I wasn't there. I was too young.
Oh, okay.
78.
You're a baby. A baby, honey. Well, anyway, he would make all this gravy and all this food. And my father-in-law, as I was saying, was one of the nicest people in the whole world. He was a sweetheart. I mean, a sweetheart. And he never got angry, he never got mad. Until one day, we had this waiter called Al the Waiter. You remember Al the Waiter? Al the Waiter? Oh, jeez. Okay, forget about it. Anyway, he was this adorable little Jewish guy running around with like, well, he didn't have his yarmulke on, but he was, and he used to light everybody's cigarette. He used to have a thing on his hip and go like that, and everybody would, jump and he'd have their cigarette lit. A couple of times he did it to Al Cohn. Al Cohn almost killed him because Al Cohn had one eye. And he had his face burnt twice. I will never forget that. Oh yeah. But at any rate, so my father was in the kitchen making all this delicious food, and Al the waiter comes up to my father and says, "Hey boss, my guy at the table, he wants ketchup." Uh-oh. What in the world would you want ketchup for? My father-in-law came out with a knife. Yup, I swear to God, he came up with a knife. He had his apron up to here, and he walked out. Where's the guy? That's the truth. Okay, I didn't even have that as a story to tell, but.
Grandpa, I never heard that one before. Where's the guy?
Diana loves this one.
Me too.
Something cool. I'd like to order something cool. It's so warm here in town. The heat's got me down. Yes, I'd like something cool. My, it's nice to simply sit and rest a while. Now I know it's a shame I can't think of his name. I remember your smile. I don't ordinarily drink with strangers. I most usually drink alone. But you were so awfully nice to ask me, and I am so terribly far from home. Like my dress, I must admit it's very, very old. for the heat, save my furs for the cold. A cigarette, well, I don't smoke them as a rule, but I'll have one. It might be fun with something cool. I bet you couldn't imagine that I one time had a house with so many rooms I couldn't count them all. I bet you couldn't imagine I had 15 different beaux who would beg and beg to take me to the ball. And I bet you couldn't picture me the time I went to Paris in the fall. And who would think the man I loved was quite so handsome, quite so tall? Well, I know it's just a memory I have when I almost forget, 'cause the weather's so hot and I'm feeling so bad about a date. Oh, wait, I'm such a fool. He's just a guy who stopped to buy me something cool.
She does it so beautifully.
Thank you, thank you. The wonderful Judi Christie of the Thank you. What a beautiful song, though. Don't do it very often. I don't do a lot of these tunes very often. I save them for Maureen's and
Does it.
one other place sometimes, but usually Maureen's.
Honestly, no, honestly.
How much do we love this place? And the people in it, the people that run it, oh my gosh, incredible. They were wonderful, yeah. People who think this little room downstairs in the set would be a treasure. Treasure, right? Okay, thank you. Okay, what do we have? Oh.
Or like
Uh-oh. All righty, we're going to do this tune. I think
started first.
you guys like this over here.
And then when
No, you do. I know Debbie does. Sure. Okay, okay.
This is the version.
It's magnificent, really.
Yeah. I fell in love with it.
You do? You guys all right? Oh, well, this is no tempo right now. It's bravado right this minute. I do.
Benny's from heaven.
And real, your dad always had me rolling.
Oh, it's not because of...
He was so irreverent. I loved every minute of it.
Oh, you know? Okay, can I get in? Put me in too. A long, long time ago, a second lieutenant named Spears. Am I right? Am I in? A second, thank you. A long time ago, a second lieutenant named Spears. He returned to the States after being away 3 years. His wife said, "Welcome home, dear. Since you've been gone, you see, we've been blessed with a darling baby, and a cute little one is he." She took the baby in her arms and she said, Benny is his name. He said, I've been away 3 years, dear. Won't you please explain? So I won't feel so dumb. Where the heck did little Benny come from? And every time he'd ask, she'd say, Benny's from heaven. Her face turned red, she repeatedly said, Benny's from heaven. He said, I've asked the neighbors all over town. No one seems to remember Benny come a-tumbling down. About a little thing like this, I ordinarily wouldn't bother. But what I know of chillin', they must have a father. So when it comes to Benny, I can plainly see Benny must be from heaven. Benny must be from heaven. Benny must be from heaven. 'Cause he damn sure, I said he damn sure, I said he damn sure ain't from me. Thank you so much. Benny's from heaven. You didn't like that, huh, Frank? Okay, we have so many wonderful songs. I don't know if we want. Okay, this is something that's on my seat, one of my CDs. I have 3 CDs out, one called If Dreams Come True, the other one It's a Wonderful World, and the other one G Baby. And I'm very, very fortunate to have some of the greatest musicians in the whole world on them. Actually, Connell's on 2 of them. Ooh-wee, baby, he is on 2 of them. I didn't know Steve at the time that I made them, that's why he's not on them. Otherwise he would have definitely been on mine. You know, all these guys. All right. So, yeah. Can we do another one, guys? Okay, this is honestly. Running wild, lost control. Running wild, mighty bold. Feeling gay. Reckless too, carefree mind all the time but never blue. Always going, don't know where. Always showing, I don't care. It ain't worthwhile, all alone and running wild. Running wild, lost control. Running wild, mighty bold. Feeling gay. Reckless too, carefree mind all the time but never blue. Always going, don't know where. Always showing, I don't care. Don't love nobody, it ain't worthwhile. All alone and running wild. see Rocky. Wow. I wonder he's my right and left arm. Mr. Tate himself. Mr. Lost control, running wild, mighty bold, feeling gay, reckless too, carefree mind all the time but never blue. Going, don't know where, always going, I don't care, don't love nobody, it ain't worthwhile, all alone and running wild, all alone and running wild, all alone and running wild. Oh my gosh, I don't even have, I know I wanted to tell a few stories, but let me just add a few things in here, and if I can, so that it's not, you know, wow. Oh my Lord, these guys are something else, right? I mean, you know, how lucky I am. Wow. Okay. Well, of course, Wes Montgomery was one of the greatest people we had at the Half Note, and of course, it's Wes Montgomery Smoking at the Half Note is the most widely known guitar record in the world. Yeah, Wes Montgomery Smoking at the Half Note. He was a beautiful gentleman, and he had two brothers, Buddy and Monk. Thank you. Monk was of course you would know that. Monk was a wonderful bass player, right? Right, Frank? And Buddy was a beautiful pianist, and Wes was just about one of the best guitarists, if not the best in the world. Yeah. So, and what sweethearts they were, though. What beautiful people. I was fortunate enough to once in a blue moon to be called up, and I would sing with them. I wouldn't want to. I wasn't really singing much at that time at all, and you know, I was lucky. Okay, alrighty. I remember at one time Sonny Rollins, the great Sonny Rollins, a saxophone player. I don't know if a lot of you. Anyway, I told Frank the story before. He crawled in one day on his knees, and he went up to the bar, and he's one of the best players ever. And he went up to the bar and said to Mike, "If you ever need a dishwasher, a porter, or a laundry person, or a saxophone player, I'm available." Is that true? And Michael looked down and said, "Sonny, next week, you got a gig." Oh. And Ben Webster was playing up on the stand at that time with his band. The great Ben Webster. And he said to Mike, after Sonny crawled out, and Ben said to Mike, "Who the heck was that?" Mike says, "That was Sonny Rollins, Ben." He said, "What?" Yeah. I've got so many stories about the half notes. So many great stories. Thank you. Of course, the wonderful Jimmy Rushing, Mr. 5x5. Jimmy Rushing worked there all the time, and he became my son. My son is here tonight. God bless him, Michael Canterino Jr. I'm so thrilled that he's here. And he's the best person in my life, and he. Oh, I lost track now. I was thinking Michael and Mike, and I lost track. What was I talking about? I was talking about who?
Jimmy Rush.
Oh, thank you, Rush, of course. Thank you, Rush. I learned more from him than anything. Thank you so much, Jimmy Rushing. Anyway, Mr. 5x5 with the Count Basie Band. He was Mr. 5x5, 5 feet tall, and he was 5 feet wide. And he didn't measure no more from head to toe as he did from side to side. That was why he was called Mr. 5x5. Anyway. He was my son's godfather, so I'm so proud of that. And oh my God, there's so many things I'm so proud of. Yeah, I did already. I did Changes Made, didn't I? I didn't do Changes Made? Oh. Or which other one? Yeah, let's do that, okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is one of Rush's tunes. We were with him until the day he died by his bedside. Miles to do, kisses too. I never knew what love could do. Oh, can't believe you in love with me. That's how he said it. Telling everybody, baby, that you know I'm on your mind each place you go. Oh, can't believe you in love with me. I have always placed you far up above me, baby. I just can't imagine, Papa, that you love me. After all said and done, I think that I'm the lucky one. Oh, can't believe you in love with me. do what love could do. Oh, can't you do you in love with me? Telling everybody, baby, that you know I'm on your mind each place you go. Oh, can't believe you in love with me. I have always placed you far up above me, baby. I just can't imagine, baby, that you love me. After all said and done, think that I'm the lucky one. No, can't believe you're in love with me. Can't believe you're in love with me. Scooby-Doo-Doo-Doo-Dee. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. You are the best. Okay, I know we're going to, we have so many more tunes to do, but we're not going to have too much time, but I don't even know what time it is now. I didn't know what time it was. Then you told me. I saw your message. All right. Actually, David, would you come up and play All God's Children with us? With me? We're going to ask Connell to get up for just a minute. Just a minute. Mr. David Tubby, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, brother, the two most incredible pianists just about in the whole world just help each other. That's no lie. That is no lie. Right, David? All right. All of God chillin', got rhythm. All of God chillin', got swing. Maybe they haven't got money, maybe they haven't got shoes. All God chillin', got rhythm to swing away the blues. All of God chillin', got trouble. Trouble don't mean a thing, mean a thing. When it starts to go hide, hide, all the trouble go away. All of God chillin', got swing. All of God chillin', got rhythm. All of God chillin', got swing. Maybe they haven't got money, maybe they haven't got shoes. All God chillin', got rhythm to swing away the blues. All of God chillin', got trouble. Trouble don't mean a thing, mean a thing. When they start to go hidey, hidey, all the trouble go away. All of God chillin', got swings.
I can't wait to see the show. No, because the cameraman was amazing.
All of God chilling got rhythm. All of God chilling got swing. Maybe they haven't got money, maybe they haven't got shoes. All of God chilling got rhythm, chasing away the blues. All of God chilling got trouble. Trouble don't mean a thing. When you start to go high, hope all the trouble go away. All of God chilling got rhythm. All of God chilling got swing. You know, he wrote such beautiful tunes, and I kind of have one almost down. What is it? What's the tune I have down? My Turn. Yeah, thank you. Oh, Stacy, of course. Of course you would know. She sings it, right? I have so many friends that are singers here tonight. I mean, half the room are singers. Really, that's the truth. And they're wonderful, and I love them very much, and love hearing them and watching them grow and listening to them grow. And I'm growing at the same time. We're all growing, right? Growing older, but you know. Thank you so much. Wow. But yes, it's my turn for the golden ring. My turn to have everything. Here in my arms is the man I'm dreaming of. It's my turn for romance and love. It's my turn for romance and love. I'd like to do it with him next time, that's for sure. And love. Anyway, wow. Yeah, just beautiful. Well, I'm so thankful. I'm going to do another tune or two, and then I also have I am allowed to bring up one guest tonight. David Bubway has to allow me to do that, and her name is Dawn Melody. We're going to invite her up in a few minutes. Yep, he's giving me permission. He loves her too. She's been here with me many times to see many people, and also for some open mics that David had, and they became very friendly, and I certainly became very friendly with her. She's one of my dearest friends in the whole world. Yeah, and she has grown and grown and grown. She's growing and growing and growing. She's very tall right now, so I hope she's not much. She's here with her lovely mom, Marge, tonight. Yeah, I have such wonderful, wonderful friends here. I mean, if I named all of them, I'd go crazy. With all you guys. Wow. But I love hearing them, and we try to support one another, and I'm so thankful that all you guys are here. It means so much to us. We can't do it without you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. What's that? What are we doing? I don't know. I won't do was I, because maybe Connell will kill me, but actually Connell is the pianist on my CD for was I. But yeah, he loves that. Yeah, that's right. Connell asked for that. Let's do that. Okay, we're going to do something else that's on our CD. It's called "When Somebody Thinks You're Wonderful." It's on one of the CDs, and it was written by Harry Woods, and I learned it from the recordings of Fats Waller. Fats Waller is one of my favorite people as well, and Fats Waller, yes, right, Dr. Frank, and yeah. And Harry Woods wrote it, but Fats Waller played it and sang it. And when I heard him do it, I said, I've got to do this too, and I love it. So it's called "When Somebody Thinks You're Wonderful."
She's on a wide angle, so.
And Connell asked if we would do it this time. I said, ooh, yes. I love when I get requests from them. You know, that means a lot. He didn't request for me not to sing, so I'm happy about that. You guys are the best. Anyway, Steve Rooney. Okay. When somebody thinks you're wonderful, what a difference in your day. You know those stones you're stepping on, just a feather in your way. When somebody thinks you're wonderful, tells you with a smile so sweet, you know those stones you're stepping on, just a meadow beneath your feet. How you view the morning, you gaily swing along. At night you may be weary, your heart still sings a song. When somebody thinks you're wonderful, love is mighty close to you. Just another thing more wonderful, making all your dreams come true. Ooh, baby. Just a feather in your way. When somebody thinks you're wonderful, tells you with a smile so sweet, you know those stones you're stepping on, just a meadow beneath your feet. How you view the morning, you gaily swing At night you may be weary, your heart still sings a song. When somebody thinks you're wonderful, love is mighty close to you. Just another thing more wonderful, making all your dreams come true. Making all your dreams come true. Oh yeah. Thank you. What a great tune. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. Oh my God. Oh my God. I love you. I love you, hums the April breeze. I love you, echo the trees. Oh, well. Okay. I just want to say a few things before I'm going to bring Dawn up to do Happy as the Day is Long. Okay? Yeah, you have to have it. No, it's got to be there. It's got to be. Is it in the insert? It's in the insert of one of the.
Well, maybe they're supposed to have it in
The insert.
Do a different one.
I know it's got. That's our duet, though.
Oh. Might be in the insert. I didn't know you were doing it. I got you.
Well, we were so fortunate. We had Tony Bennett was down at the club much of the time, and we used to go out with him. And one day he called us and he said, "What are you guys doing tonight?" And I said, "I'm singing, Tony." I'm telling Tony Bennett I'm singing. That was a joke in itself. And he came out to a place in Jersey that Mike used to take care of. What's the name of the place?
Trumpets.
Thank you, Trumpets. And he never heard me sing because I never got back up to sing after he came. He came and maybe he would have said, "Hey, she's not so bad. We give her a shot for it." I didn't do anything right that way. I never know how to promote myself. Anyway, so he came out and he went up on the bandstand. He made the most beautiful speech about Michael and myself, but mainly Michael and the club, the half note that I have ever heard. I wish I had it on tape. And yeah, whatever. He was incredible, incredible friend, and I loved him, and I love him still. Oh, you know what? Afterwards, maybe we'll do Because of You. Dedicate it to Tony. I would like to do that. Okay. Yeah. Sinatra said, "I love you, Mike and Judi." Love Sinatra. We have that on. I met Cary Grant going out with the guys doing some gig. It was in the airport, and I met Cary Grant, and I was going out with the JPJ Quartet. It was the only group I worked with from the half note in, and I went over to him, and I said, I brought my son's picture over for him to sign, and he signed it, and he took his glasses off. I said to him, "You remind me of my father." So he tipped his glasses to see how young I was. And I was pretty young then, and he said, "Okay." And he signed my son's picture. I never told him my name is Judi. Judi, Judi, Judi. I've heard it all my life. I meet the man who said it, and I never told him. What a brain. Where the heck is Dawn?
She's right here.
Oh, well, girl, got this up here for you. Who the hell is that tall? Dawn Melody, ladies and gentlemen. We just love her. Marge, are you watching this? Yeah, she's watching. Okay, good girl, good girl. Oh, she's incredible. Dawn's been, we've become very,
I don't want to block
very tight. Okay. We've become so tight. She's generous enough to pick me up and take me places sometimes where she's not passing by my door. So I'm so fortunate, and for many of
How did
us.
we, I don't know how we ended up, I think, wow.
What?
There goes another.
How did we end up on?
We met
We met at Cleopatra's Needle.
because I was listening to the music and I kept saying, who is that Who's singing that song? It was a Fats Waller tune.
Yeah.
Hate to talk about
I hate
myself.
to talk about myself.
And I said, that's Judi Canterino. I said,
The owner said that's
I said-
Judi
I
Canterino
said,
when she comes in
what's
here.
What's a Judi Marie Canterino? They said,
Yeah, right.
You said, you know pigtails. I said, I don't know. And then she came in. I said, that must be her. And we got to chatting, and
You did.
yeah,
And that was it.
yep.
That was it. That was it. I'm so thankful.
And I study her shamelessly in all her CDs. If you don't have her CDs, honestly, they're all three tremendous, tremendous. And such a great swing jazz singer.
Well, I have the best people in the world on them, so yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm thankful. Thankful. I've been written up as a swing jazz singer many times, and I found these things in the closet that I threw down there, and now I'm finding them. I just threw them down, but I'm thankful, so thankful. All righty, we're no good without these guys. Nothing without them. Okay. What are we doing? I know, yeah. Is who what? Is what wrong? What'd you say, Steve? That gentleman is my right and left arm. He's with me anytime I do a gig, and I'm so thankful to have him. So thankful. Can't get Connell quite as often, but we get him when we can. I gotta pick up my skirt.
It's not that kind of party.
The wrong key home.
Watch out.
Oh my God. Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
You know what? Give me 1 second. Just want to take a vibration.
I'm not that tall. I know. She's tall. I am.
All right, but she's
Well,
worth the climb, right?
But she's worth the climb. A friend of mine said she fell on the west side, but she landed on the east side.
Oh.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that good? Rewind.
Look up those breasts, shoes shine, I got a suit and vest. Real light, take a look at my Pepsi flow. Can't you tell I'm happy as the day is long? I haven't got a dime to lend, I got a lot of time to spend. Walking out here, feel like a millionaire. I'm happy as the day is long. I got a heavy affair, and I'm having my fun. My walking on air, baby, I'm the lucky one. I got a peace of mind, knock wood, say love is blind. That's good. Things never seem to bother me. I'm happy as the day is long. Way, she ways, baba, la do, la do, la do, day, la. Scooby doo, dilly, baba,
do day, but I'm la do la do la do day, but I'm
Scoop way, way, she way, she bop, la do day, bop.
we ba do ba do day, but I'm we ba do do day, but I'm
Scoop way, way, she way, she bop, la do day, bop.
la do day, but I'm we bop ba do day, but I'm we bop.
Schooly doo, la do day, bop, la do day, bop. Clothes pressed, shoes shine, got suit and vest, green line. Look at my lapel, see the flower can't you tell I'm happy as the day is long. I haven't got a dime to lend, I got a lot of time to spend. Walking on air, feeling like a millionaire, I'm happy as the day is long. I got plenty of fare, and I'm having my fun. I'm walking on air, baby, I'm the lucky one. I got my peace of mind, knock wood, say love is blind, that's good. Things I never seem to bother me. I'm happy as the day is long. I'm happy as the day is long. To love to baby.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you so much. Thank you. My honor. Thank you so much.
We love you, hums the April breeze. We love you, echo the trees. Well, that's right. And I believe there might be in the
I got you in there
future
too.
that Dawn might be doing a 10 o'clock show here. 10 o'clock. Yep. 10 o'clock show of her own. Alrighty, well, and there's a couple of wonderful people going into wonderful jazz clubs here.
My mic sounded really loud and back off.
Susan, you're going into Berlin, yes, of course, yeah. And I don't know anybody else going in someplace, but I'm thankful that they're all here and they sing so beautifully and they appreciate the music so much. Where are you going, Anna?
What'd you think? Yeah, huh?
Okay. All right. Well, I'm so thankful for all of this.
Okay.
You should tell another story about the half note. I mean, there's so many wonderful stories about the half note.
Get a few more
I
songs.
told a couple, Judi Garland, of course, the last place she ever sang in her life was at our club. She came to hear Nito Day, and I helped her up to the bandstand and helped her down.
Staying at the same part.
My God, how lucky and beautiful. And of course, Papa, Michael, my husband, was always behind the bar, and he looked up because the bandstand was way above the bar. Papa wanted the musicians to be on a pedestal, so he made the bandstand. He built it himself and made it very, very high, so that they would always be on a pedestal, which he put them on, and they would deserve to be. And he looked up to Judi Garland and he said, I'll never forget this, "You should hear my Judi sing."
That's not a next week.
My heart. You know.
Come on up and hang out. We'll watch something. And we're going to work on that. Editing. And stuff she does. Cool.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
Okay.
You know what day is good for you guys.
Oh, we can do this?
See what's good for us.
Okay, we'll do it. If Steve requests something, I listen to him. If Connell asks me, if Frank, Oh, you're kidding. Oh dear. All right. Well, okay.
What'd they say? What'd they say?
When they met, the way they smiled, I saw that we were through. Oh, you crazy moon, what did you do? When they tried to say, kissed, and it was all in fun. Oh, you crazy moon, look what you've done. Once you promised me, you know, that it would never end. You should be ashamed to show your funny face, my friend. There they are, they fell in love. I guess you think you're smart. Oh, you crazy moon, you broke my heart. Once you promised me, you know, that it would never end. You should be ashamed to show your funny face, my friend. there they are. They fell in love. I guess you think you're smart. Oh, you crazy moon, you broke my heart. Oh, you crazy moon, you broke my heart. You broke my heart. Okay, sometimes the throat creeps in, but okay, I'm going to do one more, and we have to close the evening because Connell put something in front of me. It's 10 o'clock. I had something in my head. Oh, I just wanted to make mention. I was very, very fortunate to study with the great Lenny Tristano. He was a blind pianist, great jazz pianist, right, Connell? Oh, God. And I sing a little differently than he did. He's more modern playing, but I was lucky to study with him. We were very good friends. We'd speak till 2, 3 in the morning sometimes. Just really good friends, that's it. He had a beautiful wife, wonderful kids. Lenny was special. He picked out the piano for the half note. We picked it out a week before and he didn't like it, and we changed it. And he picked it out. He said, I love this place. I just love it. It's just the piano. And we changed it right away. So he picked out the wonderful piano. And I was a student of his, and the reason that Michael calls his father, the reason Papa is Papa, of course, is because Michael was born. But the reason that he calls him Papa, that he called him Papa, was because of Lenny Tristano. When I used to go for my lessons there, his little kids would be kind of running around a little bit, and they called their Lenny Papa. And I said, when I get married and I have a child, I'm going to call his father Papa. And that's how Papa became Papa, because of Lenny Tristano. Yeah? Good stories, right? Good, wonderful stories. I'm so thankful, yeah. And I'm so thankful for my son. Okay, and these guys, oh my God, used guys. The best in the world. Okay, I was going to close with Was I, but would you kill me? You want to close with something else? I love Was I. That's what Connell's on the CD. Okay. Well, we do have CDs for scale right here. If you'd like one, just let me know, and we'll get it for you. Okay. Scale, sale, right? Oh, God, yes. Thank you. How could I ever forget that? That's Rushing's tune. Yeah, please don't talk about me when I'm gone. I wanted to do that so badly. Yeah, it was 3 flats. I'm lucky I know a little of that because I took classical piano for 6 years when I was very young. And never told Lenny Tristano I knew how to play the piano, so I lost out on that. Really dumb. Now I don't play the piano. Okay, so we're going to close with a tune that Jimmy Rushing used to close with at the half note. It's a wonderful tune, right, Connell? You love this one? Okay. You love this tune? And Frank used to play down the half note for quite a while, right? You did. You played at the half note. You didn't play at all at the half note?
I've never been there.
He's only 78.
You're very old to play there. Oh, God. I thought you said you played there. That's why I thought. I didn't remember you there. I thought I made a mistake. And I didn't remember him. You told him to play there. I said, oh, God, I made a mistake. I didn't remember him. All right, he didn't play. All right. You didn't play that because you're much too young.
3 years will be 9. Okay. Steve didn't play there either. All right. All right. All right. Sorry. Okay. What are we doing? Please don't talk about me when I'm gone, though our friendship ceases from now on. If you can't say anything real nice, better not to talk at all. Take my advice. You go your way, I'll go mine. Best that we do. Here's a kiss, I hope that this brings lots of luck to you. Makes no difference how I carry on. I said, please don't talk about me when I'm gone. Please don't talk about me when I'm gone. Though our friendship ceases from now on. If you can't say anything real nice, better not to talk at all. Take my advice. You go your way, I'll go mine. Best that we do. Here's a kiss, I hope that this brings lots of luck to you. Makes no difference how I carry on. I said, please don't talk about me when I'm gone, oh baby. Please don't talk about me when I'm gone, though our friendship ceases from now on. If you can't say anything real nice, better not to talk at all. Take my advice. You go your way, I'll go mine. Best that we do. Here's a kiss, I hope that this brings lots of love to you. Makes no difference how I carry on. I said, please don't talk. Don't you talk. Don't you talk about me
Frank Tate, bass. Steve Lamantina on the guitar. One more time, Judi Marie Canterino. Paul Faust. Frank Tate. Steve Lamantina, the Judi Marie Canterino Quartet.
Thank you all very,
Give
very
us some
much.
love.
So beautiful. Wow. You know, it's true. You cannot do it without you. It wouldn't be the same. It would never, ever, ever be like this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing your love. It really, really, really matters. Thank you. And these gentlemen, what can I say? I mean, incredible, just incredible. I thank you very much. Frank Tate at the bass, he's miraculous. And Steve Lamantina, he's like everything to me. He does every gig with me. He's like my right and left arm. And this gentleman at the piano, he's remarkable. There's no way out of it. Remarkable. And I'm so thankful to have
Judi Marie, give her some love.
And David Bowie, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible gentleman.
Finish it and share.
And I want to just say thank you very much to Brianne, his wife, which is, she's a doll, she's great. Yeah, she's real, she's real. And Fiona, what can I say, just beautiful. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, John.
Judi Marie Canterino, give her some love.